Hello, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I'm here with Aron Raw, the Raw of Raw Men podcast, and the future senator of Texas,
State senator. There's
state senator.
yeah, there's like a couple of hundred of
Yeah.
them. Almost all of them Republican at the moment.
If I heard correctly, you are now officially Aron Raw.
I am. Yep, legal name change, which just confuses people even worse somehow. Which I'm surprised that it did. So, what were you going to ask me?
So, Aron, I've known you for a few years now, actually. But for those who don't know who you are, and I can't imagine there are very many, what would you say you are best known for?
Well, I did a video series called "Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism" on YouTube, which somehow got really, really popular and became a book by the same name. And it's funny. I wrote that video series in response to a Christian I know who was challenging me, to prove evolutionism. And as a result of doing that video series, I ended up on the speakers circuit, and I ended up in, I don't know, like a dozen documentary films by now. I've been to like 22 countries around the world, and shared stage with some pretty impressive people. Victor Stenger and Daniel Dennett and Richard Dawkins and so forth. And it really has turned my life around. So when I published the book, I wrote a little thing about that, thank you for changing my life in all these positive ways, and sent it to her, and I never heard a word back.
Probably teaching Sunday school somewhere.
It's funny how that works out. Yeah, but and now I do the Raw Man podcast, of course, and the purpose behind that is I try to do a little different than a lot of podcasts do. Um, Rather than, everybody can complain, and everybody does, and so I want to talk to people that are actually doing something to make things better. So I want to talk to actual progressive people who aren't planning to do something and aren't just bitching about the way things are, but actually doing something. So I've talked to inventors and activists and politicians and all kinds of people in the last couple 3 years that I've been doing this, and I've been doing it now full time. I'm a full time activist for the last 3 years, which I'm kind of ecstatic about. It's a struggle. We do not make enough money doing this. My wife and I work together on this. I mean, we are working at home and living the dream, so to speak. But we do need all the support and patrons we can get. I mean, really. And one of the things that I try to do for this is I try to be the most productive, the most bang for your buck. If you're going to promote anybody on Patreon, that I want to be the guy that's obviously the guy that you want that will do the most for it. My wife and I do a series of classroom supplement videos teaching biology to middle school and high schoolers, unapologetically including explanations of evolution and endosymbiosis and deep time concepts and things like that, which I've been told to have been used in some classrooms, including college classrooms, which sometimes confuses me because these really are kind of beginner lessons, but yeah, so be it. And of course, homeschoolers. There are actually homeschoolers
Yeah.
that use these lessons because some people take kids out of their class because they're afraid of forbidden knowledge. And some people homeschool their kids because they know that teachers are terrified of teaching evolution. And so if
Yeah.
they want their kids to know proper science, they better teach it to them themselves. So they're using our videos to that effect. And of course, whenever I do a presentation somewhere, if I'm doing a debate or a live speech, or as we often do when we do a hearing before the Board of Education or before the State House or whatever we're doing, those kind of related activities will end up on the channel as well. And then I do other activism stuff. Like right now, I'm doing a series on how different fields of science disproved Noah's flood. And I think I'm 5 episodes into that series. And then we're doing another series on the systematic classification of life, which is right now just following the trek from goo to you by way of the zoo. That old Christian analogy. But yeah, we're starting on all these different clades and showing you just how many there are and what the value of the clade is, so that people will understand what ape means, what animal means, what vertebrate means, and chordate and so forth. And there's a whole lot of them, and people don't realize the breadth of it all, which is quite brilliant. And we're doing this as a supplement to the Phylogeny Explorer project, which is another thing that we're doing that there's just being funded by an entrepreneur to produce the to produce a navigable online encyclopedia representing the phylogenetic tree of life, the complete tree of life. And we've had up to a dozen volunteers working on it for the better part of a year. And matter of fact, it might have been at it for a year by this point. And we just did this thing in Finland last month, where we went to speak at the International Rationalist Conference, and I've just been invited to come speak at the Global Atheist Conference in Melbourne, Australia, in
Cool.
February.
Going back to Australia.
So it's really great to be asked to come speak at that event.
Yeah.
And now trying to do the Senate thing, which I know I'm an atypical candidate. I'm certainly doing an atypical campaign. And everybody tells me that, what, it's 1,000,000 to 1 shot or something like that. That for so many different reasons, I mean, let's forget that I'm an outspoken atheist activist in a heavily religious right wing Republican dominated area. You just look at my hair and my Fu Manchu mustache. I mean, I've got everything going against me. But and people say, well, why don't you just cut your hair and clean yourself up? Oh man, I hate that phrase, clean yourself up. I'm clean, damn you.
It'd almost be like perpetuating a fraud to cut your hair and change your look.
Exactly, it would. And oh my God, Frank Zappa, when he ran for governor of Texas, he didn't changing his appearance. and I actually I'm hoping, honestly, that this is not just a joke thing. I mean, I actually will do the job if I can get it.
I know you're already doing a lot of work in Texas by being very vocal about pointing out when they try to slip creation into the schools, try to undermine evolution. You've been there to point that out and say, no, they.
Yeah, and it's not just science. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's science, sex, and social studies.
Well, I know I've used you as a resource many times and have suggested you to many people, and even tried to get my 9-year-old daughter to watch and explain things to her. I know you like to enjoy yourselves at these events. Is there anything in particular that you are looking forward to either doing or seeing?
I've never seen the St. Louis Arch, and I understand that this time around I'm supposed to see it from a helicopter.
That was kind of what I was hinting at, because Thompson's got a raffle going on for a helicopter ride, which sounds pretty cool. That's on my bucket list of things to do. Is there anyone that you're hoping to or looking forward to seeing?
I know that Shelley Siegel's going to be there, and she's delightful. So I'm always happy to see her. Yeah.
Well, Aron, I really appreciate you taking so much time with me.
Oh, my pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you again, and I'm hoping you'll stick around for a while and get you a drink.
Thank you very much.
See you in a few weeks. It's Gateway to Reason is July 28th through the 30th in St. Louis, so it's going to be a good time had by all, and I'll see you there. Bye.